Okay. All right. Like I said, I have no slides, but we'll get to the meat and potatoes of this. So leadership was awesome, obviously. It's something that you really should strive for and get there yourself, because it's probably my favorite event that we have, of all events for Beachbody. If you attended Summit, you know how ridiculously crazy Summit is. It's stressful. It's exhausting. It's fantastic. You learn a lot. You've got really cool energy and great workouts and stuff, but it is a big hot mess, and it's a lot of stuff. But leadership is one of those things where, you know, they want to give coaches who have achieved certain things in their business, they want to give back. They want to do something nice for you. So you get there and, you know, there's lots of downtime. Usually it's at a really cool location. Every night is like open bar and past hors d'oeuvres and dinners, and you get to hang out with, you know, the top coaches that are in this business. For instance, there's only 197 elite coaches out of 400,000 coaches. And so that was who was there. And we did an amazing team building event on the beach where, what's his name?
Doug Moss.
Yeah, Doug Moss. What does he do again?
Director
of sales, Doug Moss, and his wife actually came up with this entire thing, where it was like, it wasn't really a relay race, but it was like all these different things that you had to do. And so they just coupled like 10 coaches together on each team, and you had to go to all these 10 different stations on the beach. And then they timed it all, and then whoever won at the end got Beachbody surfboards that had like logos and stuff on them. And then second place got like these cool boogie boards, and then the third place I think just got like Beachbody like rollaway luggage or something. But super fun. Like you had to crack eggs on each other's heads. You had to, you know, put somebody in a raft and run them out into the ocean around like a buoy, and you had to have everybody stand on like a tarp and turn it over to the other side without touching the sand, and all these crazy things. But it was super fun and really inspiring and team building. And, you know, it was really fun to celebrate everybody there and do fun things and go to parties and try out new workouts and hear from corporate about what they're doing to improve things to help us run better businesses. And so it was a really awesome time. So without further ado though, I want to talk to you a little bit more about what we actually learned and like what we took away from it. So I can't see people, but if you have a question or if anything comes up while I'm talking, just go ahead and unmute yourself and say something, because I'm going to put it on. Maybe I can squish the screen so I can kind of see both. Not really, but whatever. So let's see. Okay. So we started the process off by having an elite mastermind. So the only folks, I mean, there are other folks that are not elite that qualify for this trip, but this particular session was just for elite coaches. And one of the biggest things that they talked about was how we're really quick as coaches when something goes wrong technologically or anything like that in the business to freak out and start being like, oh my God, this is going wrong and this is going wrong and this is going wrong. And as coaches, it's our responsibility, especially for those newbies, to turn around and say, yes, your concern is valid, and know that they're working on it and know that it's going to be fixed. For instance, they were trying to explain why things go wrong and how things go wrong and how it can be something that's really, really simple. For instance, they're sitting in a meeting and it's like end of the month stuff. And some guy goes, okay, so PIO's over end of the month, so I'll just take that down on the 30th. And meanwhile, you know, the end of the month is until the 31st. And also in the FAQ, it actually doesn't say that sale ends until the 6th. So just because of one little thing that nobody checked on, they went and took it down. Then all of a sudden PIO isn't there and people are like, where's the sale price? And everybody's freaking out. But, you know, Beachbody got on that immediately. It was back up and in there within 3 hours. And, you know, ran to the 6th. But they're just saying, with a company that big, with that many moving pieces and growing as fast as we are, that things like that happen. And so they talked a little bit about the company and how we're growing and how big we are. So Beachbody is a $1.3 billion company. 1.3 billion, not million, billion. company. There are 400,000 coaches in the network, and that's all in North America. And they said that any other multi-level marketing business out there that has grown to the point that Beachbody has or beyond has had to branch out and go internationally. And that's not Carl's mission. Carl wants to do it here first and turn this company into a $10 billion company before we even leave and go elsewhere. So we have somebody who is in charge of this business who has huge dreams and keeps crushing the things that they tell us that we cannot be doing. And we're growing at a rate that is faster than any other company. So we're doing things that no other company has done. For instance, we have $33,000 worth of challenge pack sales sold in one day. A day. So you wonder why shipping is crazy and running around and messing things up. It's because we have $33,000 of challenge packs going out in a day. 197 elite coaches. I already told you that. So one of the reasons why you want to get to elite is because when you get to elite, it literally means you have a $2 million business. You have a $2 million business. Because in order to be an elite coach, that means that you're in the top 0.05% of the company. And being in the 0.05% of the company, you're still accumulating 2%. Like you are doing 2% of all company challenge pack sales, 2% of all of the Success Club points that come into the company are coming from you. And guess what? 60% of all of that stuff is coming from you in 3 levels down. And that's why elite coaches are treated so well and given so much, because you are creating a lot of income for this business and for yourself. So it's definitely something to shoot for. It's not something that's unattainable. And in fact, in your first few years, it's actually the easiest time to accomplish it. So go for it. You know, don't let anything hold you back. If next year is your first full year as a coach, be elite. Okay. Hammer and chisel. So everybody's excited about that, right? So much fun. And while we were at the workout, Sagi and Autumn brought up the hammer and chisel, test group. So the coaches who had been in the test group onto stage during one of the last moves because they were both tired and didn't want to do it. And I will tell you that every single person on that stage had a 6-pack. They had like crazy bodies. They had crazy results. And they were so gung-ho about this program. And I'm really excited about it because I know that everybody's going to get awesome results. I mean, I cannot wait for this to come out. It comes out December 1st. The challenge pack price will be $160, and you can get a performance line challenge pack or a Shakeology challenge pack. So what that means is that you can do the new Beachbody performance line instead of Shakeology with the program, and it's a $160 challenge pack. Or you can do Shakeology with the program, and it's a $160 challenge pack. So that's December 1st. So essentially you have 2 times to go through 21-day fix before then. All right. So 22-minute hardcore. Did everybody see that? Tony Horton's new workout, pretty badass, right? Like, it's like proven basics. It's going to come out in March of 2016. And even Carl said it, like, think about the fact that this is like your morning PT, and like all of these people who you can market this to are people you can sign as coaches that actually do not have to pay the business fees because they're military. So like you can get them this amazing program that they're totally going to be interested in, then get them set up with Shakeology, and they don't even have to pay the $15.95 a month. They're just saving money. So that's pretty amazing. And then the other thing that they thought would be really cool is instead of like submit your results and you get this awesome t-shirt, or in the case of size socks, you get challenge coins. So if anybody is military, they understand what that means. But they just thought that it would be a really cool thing to be able to like whip out your challenge coin and be like, I did it, or like I did it, and sort of have that piece to like talk to people and whatnot. All right, so Shakeology, we have a new flavor, cafe latte, and it is amazing. It tastes so good. It's so good. And they served it to us on just blended with ice and water, and it was good. And so I was like immediately like, I can mix this with almond milk and maybe like do like half like unsweetened vanilla almond milk and like half like iced coffee and like a dash of vanilla, and this thing is going to be like crack. Just so you know, there's not more caffeine in the cafe latte shake. They actually learned how to take the entire plant and use it for all of its benefits rather than just extracting the caffeine like you do in coffee. And so you don't have to worry about people being like, well, I get like all like jittery around caffeine. I can't do cafe latte. Well, yes, you can. If you can do vanilla Shakeology or chocolate Shakeology, you can do cafe latte. And that will be released in the first quarter. They didn't give us a specific month. All right, so what else? Summit 2016. Yes, there's a wait list, but Carl says get registered. He says they believe everyone will get off the wait list. also, we all know that if you're a success starter, you still get your ticket for free. And there are spots that are put to the side right now so that if you make Success Club your first 3 months as a coach, that no matter what, you will get to Summit. He started talking a little bit about how coaches average 4.3 months on Shakeology. And while that's good, we want more, right? Like we want people to stay on it forever. And so he's like, that's one of our missions, is to get people to start drinking Shakeology and really commit to it and start drinking it for longer than just like, oh, I lost weight and that's good. So that means we really need to bring up the benefits of what Shakeology is doing for people. And he said this time of year is the perfect time when everybody's getting sick, everybody's got colds, everybody's feeling low, it's the season changes, to start talking about why you don't feel sick, because Shakeology is actually making you feel good. You know, this is the this is the third season of this time of year that I've been on Shakeology and haven't gotten a cold. And I used to get a cold for like a month during this time, like straight through from September to like October. I was like sick as a dog. So, you know, that's something that you can start promoting on your social media. Another update, mobile-friendly-team-beachbody.com. Like, tell me that doesn't make you like super excited, like firecrackers coming out your butt excited, because it does me, because now I can work my business literally from my phone without it being a giant pain in the butt. So mobile-friendly back office, mobile-friendly-team-beachbody.com. When did they say that was coming?
End of fourth quarter.
End of
15.
Yeah. So end of the year at some point. And then my challenge tracker, which some of you may have had like a little sneak peek into that when I had a trial, that is going to be released to all coaches to use early 2016. And it's a great way to really track your coaches, see if they've done their Shakeology for the day, see if they've done their workout for the day. If not, you have the ability to sit there and go boop and send them a direct message that will notify them on their phone saying like, hey, did you do it today? Why didn't you do it today? Really, really great way to help track our people and keep them accountable. And especially for anybody that you're signing up, like say you're using Instagram, or say you're using Twitter, or say you're using Periscope, or you're finding your coaches through different means and they're not on Facebook, you can run groups for them. And it's just really good to, we don't own Facebook. We don't own that platform. So anything could happen, and we don't want to put all of our eggs in one basket. So it's nice to be able to have two options. All right, from there, we had this guy come and chat. His name is John Addison, and he is a former president of another MLM company. And even Carl said he usually doesn't invite people from other companies, but he really likes them. And I think this guy's actually doing some work now with Success Magazine and has a book coming out. So here are a few of my takeaways from John Addison. And this is really important. He said, everything rises and falls on the mindset of the leader. How you are feeling, what you are thinking, what you are doing. All of your business rises and falls on that. So you need to be the CEO of personal development. You need to make sure that you are constantly filling your head and protecting those 6 inches between your ears and making sure that the stuff that goes in there is stuff that's good. Think to yourself, like, if my coaches did what I did today, would they be successful? I'll say it again because it's that important. If my coaches did what I did today, would I be successful? If your coaches were thinking how you are thinking today, would they be good leaders? So you want to make sure that you're taking care of that area in your head so that you can be a good coach, that you can be doing those behaviors that you want somebody else to look at and duplicate, because they will duplicate you, and they will duplicate your bad, and they will duplicate your good. So just make sure that you're doing the right things. Your most prominent thought is what you're becoming. Thoughts are that important. So what you're thinking is actually what you're becoming. And that comes from Napoleon Hill for Think and Grow Rich. If you guys haven't read that book, Ryan's read it about 15 times. You should go and read it. It's an amazing book. And I love this other line from him. He was just filled with like one-liners. If your thinking is stinking, your team is shrinking. So, that is so on target. Like, if your thinking is stinking, your team is shrinking. You can sit there and pretend, and be like, oh, I'm all happy. But I will tell you that people are reading those posts and they're going, something's up with her. She's not normal. She's not acting like herself. She's negative, or things aren't going right. You have to be making sure that your thinking is actually good. Otherwise, your team duplicates that too. And then you all feel down and things are going bad. I will take 100% responsibility. And I know that this year I've been a little bit off. My thinking's been a little bit lower, which means that my energy's a little bit lower, and my business has reflected that I'm not building as fast as I have in the past or how I want to. That's all changing. You're going to see that real quick. So act as if, smile and the feeling will follow is a term that Ryan and I have always said, and we learned that back in like 2004. Smile and the feeling will follow. It's so true. Like if you ever feel like shit, just put a smile on your face, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm actually happy right now. That's weird. Like it just happens. So if you're feeling low, if you're feeling like you don't want to do personal development, if you're feeling like you don't want to be working your business at the moment, just do it. The feeling will follow. So you just have to remind yourself of that. Like, I'm just going to start. Just like when I tell people, like, press play on your, DVD, and 5 minutes in, if you want to quit, go for it. But chances are you're going to be motivated. You're going to keep going. It's the same thing with working your business. It's the same thing with starting to read something about personal development or listening to something about personal development. It's all the same. So this also made me think of Lindsay Matway. So I remember Lindsay Matway in one of her videos, I think I shared it in the Diamond Dash group, but where she starts talking about how when she was a new coach, before she was a diamond, she used to say, I thought of myself as a successful 15-star diamond. So when I would respond to people, I thought to myself, how would a 15-star diamond respond to this question? Or how would they respond to what this person needs? And that helped her eliminate the fact that she was actually a person who was struggling bankruptcy and like completely felt like, a loser and felt like she needed this money. It helped her get rid of that. She was able to just focus on how a true coach and a true leader would actually lead their team. So act as if. And then life turns on small decisions. It's not the big decisions. Those are really easy, It's the small decisions every day that are determining where you end up in life. And those small decisions could be that small decision of, I'm just not going to work out today. Or that small decision of, I'm going to eat pie for breakfast. Those small decisions add up to big things. And we all know that. We've all read The Compound Effect or The Slight Edge, and those things. But I think people forget it's those really teeny tiny decisions that you're making every single day that accumulate and put you where you're going to be in your life. It's really easy to grow weeds. It's really hard to grow flowers, right? So that's your negative thought patterns. Your negative thoughts, it's really easy to breed negativity. It's really hard to stay positive all the time and stay in the right place and make those right decisions. So enjoy the struggle. Start thinking of the struggle as something good. If you're struggling to do something, it means that it's probably worth it, because it's really easy to sit there and watch TV at night. It's really easy to sit there and eat the wrong things. It's really easy to just sit there and complain about your job. It's really easy to do all that stuff. It's really hard to step out and to start doing things when you don't want to, start sacrificing things, start working when you're tired, start putting your work before everything else, being out of balance for a while. That stuff's a struggle. But it's what you have to do in order to get where you want. Going and talking to people when you don't feel like it or being fearful about doing that, that's a struggle. Probably means you should be doing it. So start enjoying that, because knowing that when you're struggling, it's meaning like something is happening and something is going right. All right. So let's see. One of the biggest takeaways was just make others feel special, give others confidence. People are just looking to belong. They're looking to feel significant. You as their coach, you need to let them know that you love them and that you appreciate them and that they're important. I don't know if I wrote it down in my notes, but Melanie Mitro on stage shared a story about a girl who had earned the cruise, was sitting around the table with her, and they were all going around and saying how they were introduced to coaching or to Melanie, like why they got started and all that sort of thing. And this one girl, who I don't even know if she was diamond at the party at the time, looked at Melanie and said, I got started because of seeing you through a friend. Then I connected with you. I sent out my application to be part of your team thinking this girl's never going to respond to me. And she's like, and then you did. And then you trained me. And then you talked to me. And then you helped me. And she was like, and you were the first person who actually made me feel like I actually mattered or that I meant something. And she goes, and I'll be real honest with you. She was like, at that point, I was at the point in my life where I was going to take my own life. So when you're sitting there thinking to yourself, I don't matter, or these small little steps that I'm taking every day don't matter, or this person isn't at diamond yet, or this person isn't here yet, or this person bought a challenge back elsewhere, who gives a shit? What you're doing matters. What you're doing counts. You are making somebody else feel significant, feel like they belong, feel like they matter. And that is a big deal. It can be life-changing. All right, so let's see. What else do we have? Commit and deliver on your promises. Get 3 new prospects a day. It's not about getting people, and it's not about getting people right now. It's about growing your relationships, growing your contact lists. It's about setting up those relationships so that down the road, it leads to something where they will allow you to help them because they trust you. And, you know, we're coming into December with the launch of Hammer and Chisel, which is amazing. I mean, who doesn't want that for their Christmas present? And, you know, who doesn't? I do. And who doesn't? And, you know, and going into, and going into that, you know, going into these next few months, knowing that people are going to put on weight in November, knowing that people are going to put on weight in December, knowing that people are even going to put on weight at the end of October because they're going to go eat their kids' Halloween candy, you know, combating that by showing them how consistent you're being, showing it can be done, talking about the struggles and relating to them. That's all how you're going to grow those relationships and grow those those builders and find those people during those hard times, but also how you're going to, it's a harder month. So as you add those people, because you have to keep going, right, until you make Success Club 10 at least each month. So by the time that you've talked to enough people, you're going to get a lot of no's. Who cares? You're going to get no's. Like, just know it. Know it going into these next few months. You're going to get a ton of no's. That's good. Keep getting the no's, because all that means is in January, February, and March, your business is going to explode, because all these people who couldn't hack it during these next 3 months, they didn't want to commit before the holidays and put on those 10, 20, 30 pounds over the holidays that now they feel bad about themselves and they're going to have to lose, you know, are going to reach out to you. They're going to remember you're the person who reached out to them before it all happened, saying, hey, I can help you make that not happen. So you're going to be top of mind. So make sure that you're going for as many no's in the next few months as possible.
I feel like there's a book.
I do feel like there's a book. It's called Go for No. I think you should all read it if you haven't, or read it again. All right. So what else? It's perfect versus perfect imperfection. So time moves quickly and what you do matters, but you know, you need to not worry. So you can't worry about being perfect. What you have to worry about is that if you're imperfect, you just fix it. That's all, and keep going. All right, so that was some of the stuff that Carl talked to us about, and John Addison, and some of the announcements and things like that. But I did post, and if you haven't watched it, I did post the panel of Becky Brissett, Anita Miron, and Amy Silverman in the team page. And what I loved about their talks was that, number one, they were so real, they were so authentic, and they were just legitimately sharing what has happened to them in their business and how they're moving forward from it. And, you know, you sit there and you look at somebody like Becky Brissett, who is a 15-star Diamond Millionaire Club coach, whose sister is also a 15-star Diamond and Millionaire Club coach. And you look at their team culture that they have, and you look at their posts, and you're like, well, I mean, this girl just has it easy, right? Like, she's just happy-go-lucky. Like, success is just like, she's on a roll, you know, like all that stuff. But she literally burst into tears telling us how she was having this extremely hard time with comparison. She was comparing herself to her sister all the time. She was in heavy competition with her, and it caused a lot of self-doubt, and it became really messy, and she started losing a ton of confidence, not just in herself, but then in her team, and then thinking this isn't going to happen. And she had that one moment of like, if I don't stop this, I am going to lose everything. And so she took action. She got a life coach. She started listening to PD again. She started her mornings with something positive, you know. So it's good to know, right, that everybody has the same struggles. It's not just the brand new coaches trying to hit Emerald. It's not just the coaches trying to hit Diamond. It's not those that are Star Diamond. All of a sudden they've got it all figured out and life is just easy. It's still hard for me sometimes to make Success Club each month, but I do it because it shows you guys that you can do it. It's not that it's easy for me. I put the work in. So, you know that everybody goes through the struggles, and find, I guess, peace in that, and reach out to somebody else. Don't struggle alone. because sometimes it's just like they say, like the thinking that got you into the mess isn't going to get you out of it. So you have to sometimes reach out beyond yourself and get past your nose to see what's going on with you, to ask for that help, to see how you can push your business forward and see how you can do better and get out of that place that you are in. And this is where success partners come into play really good too. And I will talk to you about that in a second. Anita talked a little bit about how she struggled with depression, like clinical depression, was on meds her entire life. And she, but through Beachbody and through the workouts and through all of that, she pushed past that. And all of a sudden, she was off meds and she wasn't depressed and she was feeling fantastic and she was building her business, and she'd built her business on this, strength and feeling great and how awesome this is. And then all of a sudden it hit her again and she was depressed again. And she was like, I can't get out of my own way. I can't even keep up with Anita. I don't even know what to post on Facebook. It's hard because I built a brand out of getting, out of depression and having strength. And now I'm back to that place. I feel like a fraud, how do I deal with that? And she finally was just honest, and she shared with her team and her team page and told them what she was going through. And all of a sudden she had this giant thread going of all of these other people who were going through the same exact things. And, and then she had the support system that totally pushed her and helped her when she took action, and she saw a doctor and she got on antidepressants again, and she started going to therapy again, and she started doing those right moves every single day that helped her and got her out of that and on her way to being the coach that she wanted to be again. But it took her being vulnerable and sharing with other people that she was going through a struggle. You don't have to pretend to be perfect in this business. You can be yourself. In fact, it's better to be yourself because more people are going to relate to you. And then Amy talked a little bit about, being her and not caring what others were doing. When she first signed up in the business, she thought, hey, this is what all these people are doing. This is what I have to do. Oh, look, everybody is bleach blonde. Should I be beach blonde? She's and I was always trying to be what my parents wanted to be, what corporate wanted to be, what everybody wanted me to be. And she was I even remember when I dyed my hair purple, she was my mom saying to me, are they going to kick you out of the top 10 at Beachbody for that? And she was I just realized that I didn't have, it wasn't fun. She was I wasn't having fun because I wasn't being me. And she's and the second that I just stopped caring what others thought, stopped worrying about what other people were doing, stopped, worrying about being correct, and just started being me, she's that's when it became fun again. And that's when things started going really well in her business. So, the overwhelming thing there was, everybody goes through the same struggles, everybody, but everybody should be vulnerable in letting others know that. And it's about your comebacks, not your setbacks. And how you move forward is going to help somebody else move forward. So being you. Vito Lafata had an awesome talk about confidence. One of the biggest things I got from him is just decide it, choose it. Wake up every morning and just set the intention, be more confident. Put that as an alarm on your phone. Be more confident today. And that's just going to help you. Be more confident in your conversations. Be more confident in your thoughts towards yourself. Be more confident. And you'll rub off and give other people the permission to be more confident. Have your commandments. So know your purpose in this business and know your why, because that commitment and conviction to those is what's going to keep you focused, and it's your armor. So when those other people start coming at you, or people say negative things, or you're hearing the no's, or you're getting all that crap, it doesn't matter, right? Because it doesn't fit your purpose. And take a really hard look. Who's telling you that? Who are they to be giving you that advice? Did they have the life that you want? And if they don't, then who cares? And move on and push forward to your why and what drives you, and that you have the ability to cure obesity and eliminate broke, and what's your purpose, find something that, motivates you. And if whatever they're saying to you or whatever you're coming across doesn't fit that purpose, leave it and move forward. So what else? Okay, Danielle and Julie gave a great talk. It has 5 points. Real simple. Redefine your purpose. So after you've been a coach for a little bit, sometimes I think people forget their why. They get caught up in this whole I need to do this and I need to do that and I need to do this. Well, forget that. Start thinking about why you got started in the first place, or why you're doing it now, because it can change. So figure out your purpose, just like Vito was saying, and and stick to it and go with it. Okay, so number 2, they talked about the power of finding the right success partner. So you need a success partner, but don't rush it. You need to find the right partner. Danielle and Tony gave the example of like, listen, if you've been in the business for a while, you all know I was married before. That was the wrong partner. She was like, but I waited around a bit. I worked on me. I worked my business. And now I'm with the right partner that pushes me forward. And my husband and I have a great relationship. And she goes, it's kind of like your success partner. She was like, you have to date a little bit. You have to try people on, and then you choose your partner. And so I was actually just chatting with her today too through Messenger earlier today. And she's like, Joan, she's like, go out there and be a hussy. She was like, just go and date a bunch of coaches and figure out like who fits you. Just start dating, asking questions. And she said too, she's like, I reached up, she's like, I asked Julie to be my partner. Julie was a 15-star and I had been stuck at 9-star for 2 years. She's like, and so, I was like, oh, she probably already has a partner by now. And, don't worry about that. Worry about who fits you. Worry about asking people who, list the 3 people in the business that, it could be people on this team, it could be whatever, but list 3 people in the business that fit what you are, who you are, what you like. And then ask your coach for help. Like, do you know anybody like this? Like, maybe it's Amy Silverman and, Christina Delgado. And you're like, okay, so, are there any coaches around that are similar to that? Like that I could partner with? So date people and find the right success partner, because they're going to be the ones that help you. Danielle says she's got like a special ringtone on her phone for Julie because they talk so much. So when Julie calls, she knows it's her and they jump on. And she goes, and sometimes I talk to her more than my husband. She's like, but, we help each other with things. We're honest with each other. She's like, when Julie calls me and she's like, oh, did you see so-and-so did this? And is comparing herself, Danielle looks at her and is like, that's great. Moving forward. What are you doing now? And when, Danielle's saying, well, I'm not 15-star yet. And, Julie reins her back in. So they work with each other and they push each other. So find the right success partner. Taking it back to basics. This was probably my biggest takeaway, and I'm the biggest fan of this, and it's the easiest thing on the planet. Here's what Danielle said. 1, make Success Club. 2, sign coaches. 3, teach those coaches to make Success Club. 4, don't overcomplicate it. That's it. That is the business. If you want to be successful in this business, that's all you have to do. That's all you have to do. I mean, of course, you have to do your workouts and drink your Shakeology and like do your personal development, but that is legitimately the crux of this entire business. So take it back to basics and don't overcomplicate it. Their number 4 was, again, don't overcomplicate it. And number 5 was stop comparing yourself to others and start controlling the destiny of your own business. When you're focusing on other people, you're not focusing here, which means you can't improve here and you can't help your coaches. So stop worrying about what other people are doing and just focus on yourself.
When feeling helpless, go help others.
Yes, when you're feeling helpless, go help someone. All right, so the last thing Julie said is people are watching to see how real and how consistent we are. So never miss a Monday, be consistent, and set hours and make them productive. Okay, so Jonathan Gelfand is in charge of compliance, and he went through a big, long thing, and I've got all the slides for that, and I will share them with you, but I'm just going to list the 7 things. Income claims must have disclaimer. Do it for yourself, for your coaches. Teach them to do it because it protects you and it protects this company. There were literally companies that have been shut down because they started being investigated, shut down like overnight, gone, because they had coaches that were making income claims like, you can make $25,000 a week in your first month. Like, cannot do that. Number 2, product claims and claims of cure. You can't go around telling people Shakeology is going to cure them of cancer. You just can't do it. Like, you just can't. Bonus pools and incentives. What are my notes on that? Where did my notebook just go? Oh, that's more like, what you can offer coaches for incentives and things like that to be able to promote them. You can't ever, be like, hey, sign 15 coaches this month and I'll give you $100. You just can't do that. You can't pay for recruiting like that. Can you be like, reach diamond rank and I'll give you a personal development book? Sure. So like, there's certain things that you can do and there's certain things you can't, but you can look at section 521 for that. Social media. So again, that was more of just being, what you can post, what you can't post, how your things should look and whatnot. Again, I'll share all the slides. Bonus buying. So you cannot bonus buy. Those are things that we all know. Your credit card can only be on your account and your significant other's account or your mother or father's account. That's it. You cannot have your account on all your credit card on 5 coaches' account and be purchasing things through them. You just can't be doing that. Intellectual property trademarks. So this goes more towards things that you guys never do, but I'm just going to mention just because. And that's things like you can't plaster Shaun T's face on a t-shirt and then like wear it around and have it say something. Like, so you can use the trademark, logos and stuff that they have in the back office of like Beachbody. You can make shirts like that. You can do, and they said, honestly, if you have any question about anything, compliance is there to help. And you can just email compliance@teambeachbody.com and say, hey, I'm thinking about making this t-shirt. Is it compliant? 7, be a Beachbody ambassador, AKA our coach code of ethics. So that is all in the P&P
section 1.7.
Yes. Anyways, so you can go and look that up. We'll share the slides too. All right. I'm going to plow through the rest of this. I know it's a lot of information, guys. So ownership instead of accountability. Are you creating a culture of ownership or are you doing everything for your coaches? True leadership is a leader shift of investment. So you want to empower them, not enable them. That means that everything should not be on you. Team calls and team training should not all be on you. Empower others to take that over. You want to create coaches that are better than you. You want to create coaches that are more successful for you. Because what does that mean for you? It means more money for you, right? So she talked about the book Exponential. And this was Michelle Myers, by the way, who's a 12-star diamond coach. She talked about the book called Exponential. And it's all about being blameless. And she said there's a way that she does this, and it's a system. She just says, 1, I do, you watch, we talk. Number 2, we do, we talk. Number 3, you do, I watch, we talk. And then number 4, you do and someone else watches. That is what you want to lead people through, right? She says, I'm not going to lie to you, not everybody makes it through this, but the ones that do are the leaders. And there's 2 beliefs a successful coach has to have. 1, this company makes a difference, which I think we all know that. We all are very proud of our products and our programs. But number 2 is I make a difference. And so most coaches quit because they don't believe that they personally make a difference. So you need to, as a coach, get them to see that and lead with humility and lead with love. You've got to love your team so much that they can't help but walk around feeling better about themselves and feeling differently and wanting to lead others. And you have to love them and help them see their purpose. And she ended with a quote that I really liked, and it said, love may challenge and love may correct, but love will never shame. Love may call us out to uncomfortable places, but love will never cast us aside. Love may demand, but will never demean. Love will never ask us to dim our light lest we shine too brightly. Love will never ask us to be less than what we were created to be. And that's by Peggy Haynes. And she just finished also by saying, it's not your personality, but by humility that makes a true leader. So mentor people that will outshine us. Look for ways to shine spotlight on others and make them feel significant in the small so that they want to do something bigger. And I loved Stephanie Chico talked a little bit about recognition and how to do that sort of thing. And she said, recognize people on your personal profiles too, in a way that really calls them out and really makes them feel special, but in a way that the public can also understand. If I go to my personal page and I'm like, yay, Lindsay Jones, you're making SC10. People are like, what the hell is SC10? Nobody knows what that means. But if I say, hey, congrats, Lindsay Jones, for helping 5 people get started on their weight loss journey this month, or helping 5 people feel better about themselves this month, or helping 5 people change their lives, people know what that means. So you can do little things like that to help celebrate your team, help them feel good, and make them want to do something bigger. And then building a team culture. I know I talked about this a little bit already. We reap what we sow, So what is your coach seeing day 1 in your team page? Are they going in there and seeing a bunch of complaints and people being like, Coach Relations just did this to me, or this didn't work, or my package came wrong, or whatever? Or are they going in there and seeing inspiring information, people helping each other out, people pushing each other, people loving on each other, sharing tips and tools to get better? Zoom for input with your coaches, ask them for their opinions, value their opinions, make it a team thing. We're friends first. We're family. It creates family. And I think that's something that our team is really great at. We're always trying to get together. We're always doing fun things together. A lot of teams don't have that. That was something that I really wanted. And so I've tried to create in our team, and if that is something that you enjoy being part of, make sure that you're transferring that culture down to the people that you sign on. Make sure they feel part of it. Make sure they feel part of the team. Make sure they're on the team calls. Make sure that they know that they're invited to the events. Because the closer you get them in, the more time they spend with you, the more time they spend around the team, the more time they spend in this, the more in love they become, and the more connected you become, and the more willing everybody is to work as a team together to succeed. It's like that teacher in high school, that you just liked so much you didn't want to let down, even if you hated the subject, you did well. It's like that. I already talked to you about love the struggle. Create a hustle culture. Don't get complacent. It's not about being perfect, but it is about course correction, and it's okay to share. I already told you that a little bit too. So it's okay to say, I'm not at my best right now, but this is what I'm doing to get past it. Don't just go into the team page and be like, y'all, today sucks and it sucks bad and I don't want to do anything and I'm feeling low and I don't want to do my workout and I gained 5 pounds and I ate pizza. Great. You just came and dumped your crap on everybody. But instead, if you came and you said, guys, I'm not feeling my best, and this is why, but this is what I'm doing to get out of it, I guarantee you're going to have an outpouring of everybody on the team going like, girl, I've got your back, or I felt like that too, and this is what I did. So make sure that if you're putting that stuff out there, you're putting out a solution with your problem, and you're doing it for that support and not just to complain. Diamond Zoom. So I know I just reached out to all of my leaders today and said, hey, we need to get together next Thursday to chat, but also, we need to do like a leader call like once a month or once a week or something like that, and they're all into it. But Diamond Zooms are something that you can be like, hey guys, it's a diamond. You can be part of our secret team calls, make little incentives like that too. It doesn't have to be like, oh, you get a cruise, which I might have given out a cruise to somebody. All right. So, the teacher becomes the student. So eventually, when you've created teams like this, you're going to realize that some of those people that you've signed are better at other areas than you are. And that is a really great thing when the teacher can become the student. And so if you have things that you can offer, like I suck at organization, let's just face it. I also suck at being on time. So if you see things from other people that are working for them and that are doing, they're doing well at, share. I mean, for yourself, you can share with other people and help them, then do so and help become, the teacher. And also, I think you'll notice that when you start teaching, it's when it actually like solidifies things for yourself. All of a sudden, when you know something, you know it. But when you teach it, all of a sudden it's like, I really know it. And I think you'll be surprised too. And this is even for people who are brand new coaches who have their first coach. Like you might be scared, but when you go to talk to that first person, you're going to be shocked at how much you know. All right. So one of the things I love, Bonnie Eagle's a 9-star diamond, and she's been in the business for less than a year. And she said, you are where you are because of you and no one else. And she said that when she first got started and she had her get started right call, her coach legitimately said to her, I can't hand you success. There is no magic pill. And from here on out, it is all up to you. Scary, right? But at the same time, it's kind of like, oh, it's up to me. Like I can do this, at work, I might work my butt off, but there's no way that I can get a raise because I work in a small company, or, there may be other limitations that you're finding in your life, but there is no limitation. It is all up to you. And that can be really freeing and really empowering. Susan O'Malley is the first female president of any sports entity. It was the Washington Bullets. And she had her 7 things that she does to be successful. It's her list that she's followed throughout her entire life of things that she does that have made her successful. And the first one's make your bed every day. And it's like, okay, that's great, John. I don't want to make my bed. But the thing is, if you go through the entire day and you're like, I got nothing done, you can at least say, I made my bed today. And that just sets you up on the right path right in the morning to start doing, and just to start having that mindset of like, going for it and doing the right things.
Admiral McCraven.
And yeah, Admiral McCraven. Does he have Yeah, he has a graduation speech.
Graduation speech
Admiral McCraven has a graduation speech. He talks a lot about this. She actually said he mentioned in it, make your bed every day. And these are the rules that her mom gave her. These are not the rules that she found somewhere else. So go watch that, and hopefully you'll find it really inspiring. Number 2, plan your work your plan. Don't just be busy. Use your time productively. Move in a direction. Don't just be busy to be busy, like, oh, look at me, I'm working all day long. Great. Did you get anything accomplished? So plan your work and then work your plan. Number 3, outwork everybody. She used Larry Bird as an example here. She also used Katy Perry as an example, saying that Katy had done some sort of concert or whatever at the Super Bowl, and afterwards she asked her if she was nervous at all, and Katy said no. She goes, I outworked my fear. She was like, I did it so much, I practiced so much that when I got on that stage at the halftime show, it just happened. Like my body took over and it just happened. She said, so outwork everybody. 4, set expectations. That's not just for yourself, that's for your team, because otherwise they don't know what to do. God bless you. Your team cannot read your mind, so they want clarity, even on the little things. They want clarity. One of the things that she talks about is they hired an intern for the Washington Bullets, and they had a game against another team. And during that game, she watched him cheer as the other team was making points. And afterwards, she was so ticked off, and she's standing in the back of the stadium, and she's like, I cannot believe he's like, why is he rooting on the other team? Like, whatever. And at the end, she pulled him aside and very aggressively said to him, if you want to root for the other team, you go be an intern for the other team. And he looked at her and he said, I'm sorry, I didn't know that we weren't allowed to root for the other team. And that's what she said. That was my fault. So he left the office and I didn't fire him. She goes, that was me. That was my fault. I didn't set the expectation that you always root for the home team. So you better believe when I hit the guidelines the next time in there, number 4 was root for the home team. So 5, when you mess up, make it right. We're human. We make mistakes. But what counts is how you make up for it. Lindsay Jones, you had an example of this the other day that I thought was fantastic on how you made up for something that had happened, and I can't remember what it was now, but it would be a really good example, but I'm having a brain fart. So anyways, it's not what you say or do, it's how you make somebody feel. She told the story about how when she became successful and was starting to make a lot of money, she got her dad a pair of golf clubs because he'd always wanted to go golfing and he didn't have a lot of money. And so she got a golf bag, golf clubs, balls. He was all excited, super stoked. And for her mom, she remembered her mom saying back in the day that if she ever hit the lottery, she was going to make sure that she had fresh flowers delivered to her house every day because she really, really, really loved fresh flowers. So Susan was like, that's what I'm going to do for mom. I'm going to have fresh flowers delivered to her every day for a year. She called the florist and was like, okay, so you really do have to hit the jackpot in order to do that. So we'll just do it once a week. So she did. And she set it all up. It was all set for the year. Every Monday, mom was going to get flowers. Well, guess what? Monday comes around and they called her Jan the crier, and Jan did not call her crying. And so she was like, she must not have gotten her flowers. So she called the florist and they're like, you know what? We've never had an order like this before. We were trying to get things in the system. We were trying to get things all, set up, the calendar and yada, yada, yada. And we're really sorry. We messed up. We missed delivery. Can we deliver them tomorrow? And she was like, you know what? I'm gonna start the week kind of person. Just deliver them next Monday. So Monday comes around and yet again, Jan the crier does not get her flowers because she does not get that phone call with her all weepy. And so she calls, and at this point she's really ticked off. And she was like, what do you not understand about deliver my mom flowers? She was like, my dad's all fat and happy off on the golf course. And meanwhile, my mom thinks I don't care about her. And the woman goes, whoa, 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 back off. And she's like, so that was perfect customer service. And she was like, and so you can imagine how pissed off I was. She was like, anyways, we got to the bottom of it. She goes, your flowers were delivered. And she goes, no, they weren't. And she goes, okay, so what address do you have on file? They had the wrong address on file. So she was like, well, that doesn't really help that you delivered my mom's flowers to a place my mom is not. So they started talking and they figured it out. And the woman says, I can deliver them tomorrow. And Susan again was like, no, Monday. So she had her deliver them on Monday. She gets a call from Weepy Jan, and Weepy Jan says, oh my God, I cannot believe that you remembered this. And the owner, and she knows the name of the owner, I don't know off the top of my head, and the owner, Bill so-and-so, he hand delivered them to me this morning, and yada, yada, yada. And he told me that, what was it? Oh my God.
She's been trying to send the flowers since she was 12 years old.
Yes, and he told me Susan has been trying to send these flowers to you since she was 12 years old, and it was really important for you to have these flowers, so I decided to deliver them myself. So it's not about when you mess up, it's about how you make it right. All right, number 6, do the right thing. Just do the right thing. That one's pretty self-explanatory. And number 7, have fun. You know, I think sometimes we forget when we get in the daily little like to-dos of this business that what we have under our fingertips is really amazing and it's really fun. And the community and the opportunities and the lifestyle and the friends and all of the things that it has brought into our life and the ability to be able to change others' lives, and that's our job. Like, we are super, super, super lucky. Like, that is super lucky. I'm coming off of a vacation where everything was paid for and I was on the beach and like parties and workouts and, you know, downtime and networking with people. And so I think for me, it's really easy to be like, oh my God, what we do is so much fun. But it's hard on a daily basis sometimes to remember like what you do is fun. So figure out for yourself again, like what makes this fun for you, and then concentrate there. And then her last rule, she said she only had 7, but then she liked us so much she gave 8, is people make the difference. So it is often about the people you surround yourself with that determine your success. Is everybody dying right now? Do we need to redo this call? Do we need to continue this call at another time? You falling asleep? Yes? No? Okay, Rachel says no. Lindsay says no. Okay.
Rachel's waving.
All right, so Brigitte Linford, who doesn't love her? She's awesome, right? So she got on stage and she talked about duplicating yourself. She said, if every day my team did what I did today, would they ever move their business forward? So we already know somebody else said that, right? So if it's repeated by 2 different people, it must be true. Everything they put on the internet is true. Where'd you learn that? The internet. Have to go through the process of being a leader to be worthy of duplication. So 1, go to work on your head. You know, protect what goes in between your ears. Again, we heard that over and over again. Retrain yourself to think differently. Everyone is insecure. Everyone is insecure, and everyone is working on something. So remember that, and it's okay for you to be there, but you're pushing past it. 2, lead yourself. 3, lead one other person. That's it. So sort of like I said before with the like, I teach, I do it, you watch, we talk, you watch, whatever, you got it. You wrote it down. I know you wrote it down. And then lead smaller groups. And then all of a sudden you can lead this big group because you've learned how to be a leader. Because the first time you sign up a coach that's building, you're a leader, right? You have to learn how to lead that one person before you have to lead 2, before you can lead 5, before you can lead 800. How does your team know what to duplicate? So she brought up this story and she said, these are her words. She said, I was a go-getter. My team can be too. So step back and let them do it. And she goes, this does not work. You know, just because you're somebody who like hit the gate running and went and was like, I'm going to do this and this and this with my business, and I'm going to achieve this rank at this time, and I'm going to like learn this and do this and ask all the right questions, does not mean everybody else is on your pace. There are a lot of people who actually just need your help to get started, and it's okay to be slow. And it's okay for them to be where they need to be and not where you need them to be. So make sure that you're helping those people. You know, your attitude can bring a result that doesn't work for you. So make sure that your attitude is in a good place. She started saying that because she had that attitude of like, I did it, why can't everybody else do it? That and that stepping away thing started building animosity towards her team and being like, why aren't they there yet? Why can't they hold rank? Like, what are they doing? You know, and instead of focusing on what she should have been doing was like, what am I doing that's wrong? You know, and remember how much time you've put into the blueprint for yourself. So, she gave the peanut butter and jelly example. I don't know if you guys have heard this, but she talks about back in high school or middle school or wherever, well, maybe elementary school, where the home ec teacher asks, like, does anybody in here know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? And like all the kids raised their hands like, I know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And she's like, okay, can you teach me how? And they were like, yeah, you know, you put the peanut butter on the bread and the jelly on the bread and then you just smash them together. So the teacher picks up the bread and she takes the jar of peanut butter and she puts it on the bread and then she throws the jelly jar on top of the bread, and then she slams the bun, like the whole bag of bread together on top of it. And she goes, did I do it right? And they were like, no. So they back up and they're like, well, first you've got to open the peanut butter jar, and then you have to take the knife, and then you have to spread. You know, sometimes there's things in this business that you look at your coach and you're like, why don't you just get this? It's so easy, right? So obvious. Like, can't you just do this? But it's not obvious for everyone. And just because it's not obvious for everyone doesn't mean that like they won't get it. It means it's your responsibility. You signed them as a coach, you know, so help them, you know, with things that don't seem obvious to make them obvious. And then she said something that's really pushed her in her business is self-evaluation questions. So asking yourself things, but asking yourself the right things. So what am I doing that's working for me? You know, self-evaluate and then put that, and then put that into your blueprint. You know, what actions are you taking that give you the results that you like? What choices are you making that are giving you the results that you like? And put those in the blueprint of your plan of how to coach and succeed in this business. You know, ask yourself, but ask your leaders that too. Like, ask them on Zoom calls. Ask them to share those things with you. And, you know, because she said that she used to be asking her coaches things like, you know, what went well for you this week and what didn't. And she's like, and what I was getting was like events. She was like, somebody was like, well, I made diamond this week, but I'm going to lose it next week. And it was like, that's not what I want. I want to know, like, what is helping you push your business forward? What actions are you taking each day that are working for you and what aren't? So you know what to do. So that was the next question. What am I doing that isn't working for me? I can tell you what doesn't work for me. If I put the TV on during the day, that does not work for me. You know, if I'm like, oh, I'll get to my power hour later, that does not work for me. Things come up. You've got to get it done. You've got to put the most important things first. What personal development aha moments are you having? That's something great to also ask your coaches, because they'll think about it. They'll be like, you know what? I learned this week, or I learned that this week. And what did they do? They're passing that culture on right to their teams. They're saying what worked for you, what didn't work for you. What are you learning in your personal development? Giving your coaches an opportunity really to teach you, because you don't know it till you teach it, like we said before. Bridge the gap between the know and the unknown. So she used the movie theater analogy. What was the movie theater analogy?
Movie theater analogy.
Yeah. I don't remember. Sorry, guys. Be a facilitator, not a fixer. This is a really, really, really big one. Dave Ramsey has that story where he talks about like his employees coming in and like, you know, just dropping a monkey on their desk. And when they leave, he really hopes they take that monkey with them. Same thing. We're not a place for people to drop their monkeys. You know, it's not a dumping ground. Take your monkeys with you. So instead of, you know, like I said earlier, this is what's happening, saying, okay, well, we can do this together and we'll help you do this and we'll help you do that. It's not your job to fix. It's your job to facilitate. So say, okay, so tell me what your plan is. And then say, how can I support you? Not, okay, here's what we're going to do. That's fixing. You want to ask them to think it through.
Also saying, how can I support you as you move past this issue?
Yeah. And don't go overboard because you want to seem duplicatable. And I gave Chris Reed the biggest compliment for this, and it might be the biggest compliment and the biggest put down at the same time. But I'm like, you're so bad at like, you know, he's so bad at training groups, and he's so bad at running. He doesn't even think he runs challenge groups anymore. And he's so bad at technology. Like, he can't even figure out how to use his laptop. You know what Chris is really, really good at? Being duplicatable and showing you that the only things that you really need to build your business is 3 vital behaviors. That's it. You know, Brigitte talked about how Scotty Hobbs is her upline. And, you know, the fact that Scotty would just grab his phone and shoot a video and go boop and upload it to their team page without editing him turning on and turning off the phone and stuff. That was like I can do that. You know, and meanwhile, I'm not going to mention names, but we have some coaches that attend these events and have hired photographers to follow them around and video them. And then they create like these big, extravagant, you know, professional videos. That's not duplicatable. You know, putting together a grand, extreme like website, maybe when you're a 10-star diamond or an elite coach and you're full-time and you're making enough money and you can plan and put together a tool like that for your team, then you can hire somebody to do it. Or if it's something you enjoy, you can do it. But if it's something that you cannot teach your team to do, then don't really worry about it. Like Brigitte was saying, like, I create all these nice little graphics that I throw on my team page, with like the promotions for the month and that sort of thing. She's like, but I do it because I like it. She's like, it's not necessary to duplicate in order to be successful. So make sure the things that you're doing, make sure you're not being too perfect in a way so that people know that they can do it too. Being imperfect and succeeding is far more relatable than being perfect and succeeding, right? So identifying the real motivation, we all know about that. We've talked about that. But it's not to be diamond. It's not to be 5-star. It's not to be elite. Those are not the things that somebody woke up as a little kid and said, like, I want to be a 5-star diamond when I grow up. But they just didn't. They didn't even, like, that's not your goal. What is your goal? What do you want that by achieving that is going to help you get it? Okay. What is that? Is it that you want to pay for, is it that you want to buy a house? Is it that you want to travel? Is it that you want to pay for your wedding? Is it that you want to just get a debt? What is it that you want that this business can get you that you've dreamt of having since you were a little kid? For me, I really, really want some Manolo Blahniks. Okay. I really do. There's a pair of Manolo Blahnik booties that I tried on the other day and I really want them. All right. So when they know what this is, when your coaches know what that driving factor is, and it really is driving them and it's hitting home, they're self-driven, right? You don't have to drag them along anymore. They're self-driven. They want it. So help them figure out what they want. See the light in others and treat them as if that is all you see, right? So when people F up, who cares? You see them as the perfect person that they are in God's light. This is from Dr. Wayne Dyer. If anybody doesn't know him, you should look up Wayne Dyer. I love him. He just passed away. It's very sad. Because success looks different for different people. And maybe somebody isn't where you want them yet. And you're like, why can't they just get here? Well, is that what they want? Are they achieving what they want? So help them focus on what they want and then help them prioritize and then help them take those steps and realize that, hey, you might have to sacrifice this. And hey, you're choosing to do that right now. Is that really getting you closer to what you want? And remind them of those things to help them keep what they want in front of them. Because I can tell you in the end, when that person achieves or gets what they want, they're going to be really happy that you were brutally honest with them and said, hey, you know what? You're telling me you want this right now, but you're doing this. Is this what you really want? Okay, this is how you're going to get it. All right. So moving beyond rank, Brittany Schumer talked a little bit about developing team builders and using the leadership ladder as a map of success. Follow this and you will be successful. She goes, that way they can look and they can say, oh, well, if I have this much volume this month and I have this much, if I make this many success club points or I have this many people in my success club, then this and that. It's really easy. It's written all out for you. It's in columns. And you can check and see, like, do I fit this? And then if that's what you're shooting for, then you're making money. Because there's a lot of times where you're shooting for something like a rank, and it's not actually meaning money for you if you're not building it the right way. But if you're building it the right way and you're like, say you're shooting for Success Club and that's putting you in that team builder status, then the money is going to come with it too. So teaching people to make money is what's going to get them to stick around. She says she has them shoot for those ladder success marks rather than rank, because the rank comes as a it just comes with that. What did she say? Add up commissions I've made from my Success Club leads. Oh yeah. So I'll probably do that. But one thing for her, she was like, okay, so you're telling somebody that Success Club's important. You know how important it is. You know that if you make Success Club every month, you make 15 times the amount of an average coach. So if you're making Success Club every month, you know that it's going to make you more money. You know it's going to grow your team, and you know that it's going to get you to your goals. But some people in the beginning don't understand that. So talk to them about the other things that making Success Club will help them do. Whether that be, listen, you make Success Club, that means you've helped 3 people this month. Or, hey, you know what? From my Success Club leads that I've gotten over the past year, this is how much I've made in commissions. I'm going to go through and look at how much commissions I've made from my Success Club leads, because I'm sure it's a lot, and that will teach you to make Success Club. Share the what, the why, and the how often. So don't be what's it called? A reservoir? Be a river.
Correct.
Yeah, of information.
It's a dead sea versus a river.
Recognition, we already talked about how that is key and reinforcing that. Create opportunities for your coaches to use to invite other people. So sneak peeks, biz ops, super Saturdays. Think of different things that you can invite your coaches to, whether it be new training groups or a new idea for a group or things like that they can invite their people to help them grow their business. Help your diamonds become 2-stars and team leaders. Lead from the front. Help your team set a team building goal every month, so maybe it's that they want to add 6 people to their team, or maybe it's that they want to add 2 diamonds to their team, or whatever it may be, but help each coach in your downline set their specific business goal. Help them identify their future diamonds. It may not even be the people that they think are going to go diamond, maybe it's the people that are actually showing up and they don't even realize that that's the person that they should be focusing on. Organize how they spend their time, help them with that. Get on one-on-one calls with them. If somebody's saying, I'm struggling making time for this business, well, get on a call with them and help them figure out where their time's going. What else, Crocker? Success Club's the number one indicator of success in this business, of current and future success. Mm-hmm. Success Club's so frequently talked about because it's the number one. Celebrate every Success Club point. So that's one that I haven't done. And that I just learned on this, that I was like, oh, we should start doing that. Celebrate every point. Every point is a person, right? Every point is a win. So celebrate every point. And I think that, some teams do like incentives for that. So you could do that for your team if you want to. Progress check-ins. Let's see. A lot of the time on her team page, she'll say, tag an accountability partner and tell them your goal. So you can do that even in your challenge groups if you want to. But when it says share your goal and tag somebody else, what you're doing is you're creating that culture where people are accountable to each other and it's not all on the leader. And it can be something as like, how many more people do you want to help this month? Hold on one second. Katie, can you mute yourself, please? All right, so I think this is pretty much, is there anything else that's like so amazing that I want to highlight?
Well, be purposeful, set business hours, focus time intensity, business, family, job, delegate.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about small successes and celebrating the small makes them want to do more of the big. So here's some things that you can do other than Success Club and other than Rank that you can recognize your team for. So a great post on Facebook. Maybe one of your teammates had an amazing post that did really well, or you're just really proud about how much they put themselves out there. Celebrate that. Post in the team page. Say, look at this freaking awesome post that this girl just did. Success Club qualifying. So if they've made a couple points, talk about that. If they're a success starter, any Success Club point. Volume, team volume. Leadership ladder ranks, did they just get team builder status? Obviously you can do Rank and that sort of thing that we usually do. But like weight loss, or like maybe somebody overcame like a super huge fear and, they told you about it and you can celebrate that with them. So celebrate all the little things. And, I already told you this, but those coaches who make Success Club earn 15 times more income than those who do not. So Success Club is where it's at, guys. If you light a lamp for someone, it will also brighten your own path. That's from Buddha. Just liked that quote. Mentor-mentee relationship. I think this is pretty much it. Oh, Erin Young talked about going full-time in moments of truth. She sat there. She was a teacher, and so was her husband. And they worked in a different school system than where their kids went to school or were going to go to school. They were too young at the time. They weren't actually in school yet. And so they went to go celebrate some neighbors' kids that were going off for their first day of school. And as she was sitting there, she took a picture of her 2 little ones watching them take off on the bus. And when she did, she realized, I'm not going to be able to do this with my kids. Like, I'm not going to be the mom that gets to wake up and give my kids breakfast and get them off on the bus and say goodbye and have a good day. Somebody else is going to have to do that. And it hit her, and she decided that she wanted something different. That was her moment of truth, that she wanted to go full time. So she made a decision. And she said, you cannot make progress without making decisions, And so she put in 2 years of imbalance so that she could have what she wanted. 2 years. She replaced her income, and she was able to stay home, and she was able to watch her oldest get on the bus this year as a kindergartner and send him off to school. She did what she wanted, but what it took was a lot of imbalance for a short period of time. You have to be willing to do that. You can hear all the leaders in the world get up there and be like, find balance, find. That's great. You get balance when you've put in a time of imbalance. If you really want something, you're going to have to push and you're going to have to sacrifice. You're going to have to struggle and it's going to be hard. If anybody tells you opposite, they're not giving you the truth and they're not doing you any favors. She got up at 4 a.m. and she went to bed at 11 p.m. every day. Went to work, 4 a.m., did her stuff, went to work, got back, stayed up till 11 p.m. every day to get what she wanted done, but it was worth it. So she said, be intentional, create systems, delegate. Anything that you do not have to be doing, hire somebody else to do. Hire somebody to come and clean up your house. Hire an assistant to help you with small things. She goes, I didn't think I could afford that. She was like, but I figured it out. I made it happen so that I could start creating more income. So if you've thought to yourself, I can't afford this, like I can't afford that, figure out a way to afford it so that you can do it. If that means putting in more hours in your business, then do so. But if you need to get to a point where you want to leave your job, like I said, you're going to have to do some sacrifices. So that was really it. Melanie Mitro, she finished it all up. She just said she loved Becky Brissett's idea of getting a life coach. She's probably going to do that. She loved Vito saying be more confident. She loves involving your team in decision-making, we versus me, outworking your fear, 3 vitals every day for the rest of time. And, outworking your fear. She talked about her Melanie's cheerleading story where she just was awful at dancing and everybody knows that she's awful at dancing, but she put it in her mind her senior year of high school that she wanted to be a cheerleader. So while all of her friends were going out, she was practicing in her room and she went and tried out and she ended up being the last person on the list. They were all listed in the top 10 were accepted, right? She was number 10. And her friend who went out that night without her was number 11. She didn't make the team. So she was just talking about how outwork everybody and outwork your fear. All right. That's it. That's all I got for you. That is all I got. I know it's all I got, but it's a lot. I will type out my notes and I can share them in the page. I also, as they come out on the wall, because I know that some folks did record things, and so I can share them that way. And I'm sure that corporate will share anything they can. Unfortunately, the videos from the speakers that they actually paid to come in, they wouldn't allow to actually tape. So I don't have those, but I shared most of that stuff with you. And I hope that you guys got some nuggets and that you're wanting to face your biz head on and put the work in. And if you need help with figuring out your why or priorities or time or any of that stuff, you have a coach and you have a team to help you out. And then most importantly, just be you. I think that was the biggest thing. Stop comparing and just be you. And realize that what we do is a pretty big thing. You have a really great opportunity. So just settle in on focusing on helping people, and the rest will all come. But you just have to do those vital behaviors, like that disciplined action, that disciplined imperfect action, to get those steps done. All right. That's all. Any questions? Now I'm just looking through your notes to me because I ignored them all. If your thinking is thinking, your team is shrinking. Don't you like that? It's so good. Yes, Lindsay Jones. That was the example I was talking about when you offered to pay the Shakeology shipping fee for the mess up for your coach. You fixed it for them, which made them in turn be happy and trust you.
Gives credibility.
All right, y'all. You all look as exhausted as I do. Unfortunately, this trip was so fun, but I'm on a time difference now, and my body's all messed up. And I was trying to get up at the real time this morning, but then I slept in. But the whole time I was sleeping in, I was thinking about how I should be getting up, so I didn't actually sleep. So I'm tired. But I will see most of you Friday, and I'll see all of you Saturday. And Rachel, I know you're going to one in your area, right? Katie, you too, right? And awesome, guys. I can't wait to get some of this stuff rolling this week. Stop